Go.
Baby, get your boat on, come along with me. It's a revolution in 2016. He's a little bit rumpled, so are we. I'm voting for Bernie in 2016. I'm voting for the person who's voting for me. I'm voting for the person who's voting for every one of us. I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. Come along with me. Oh, baby, get your boat on and come along with me. Ah, it's a revolution in 2016. I'm voting for Bernie, cause he's voting for me. I'm voting for Bernie, he's voting for me. I'm voting for Bernie, he's voting for me.
You're on. Dave, you're on.
I still hear the music, but I hear I'm also on. I'm just going to rock out. Anyway, am I on, John?
Yes, you are, sir.
I hear music. Where is that coming from? Oh, that might be me. Hi, sorry, guys. Hey, guys, we are live. John tells me I'm on. I've got music. I've got John's song playing in 3 different spots. That was John McPhee, a burner here in Burbank. He is the one of the organizers for Burbank for Bernie. John, why don't you squeeze in a little bit here? I don't know if we can hear you. John, say something. See if the boys can hear you out there.
Can you hear me out there?
Yes, we can.
If not, we can. Awesome, John. Great. That's John is also in our control room. Hey, Burners, DC with you here, and we're about to go live with Bernie's speech, the Dubuque town meeting in Iowa. He shut down the fair yesterday. According to Meet the Press, Chuck Todd, the biggest crowd was definitely Bernie Sanders on the soapbox. And we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to talk about Burbank for Bernie. We were at an event last night that I sort of impromptu streamed, and it was a great event with a bunch of Bernie organizations meeting at Gordon Bernie's in Bernie Bank, California.
Gordon Biersch.
Yeah, and Gordon Bernie's is now the name of the place. Stay with the humor with me, John. So, hey, and joining me right now also is Nigel. Nigel's back with me. How you doing, Nigel?
Hey, Dave. Great to be back. Great to be back with everyone here for this great rally that's coming up in Iowa. And, man, we've got so much to talk about, huh? Iowa, what an exciting weekend it's been up there at the state fair.
Unreal, right? I mean, Donald had his helicopter and was giving out helicopter rides, and Hillary was being followed like the Pied Piper all around the fair. But Bernie definitely apparently shut down the whole place, and they could not do anything when he took the soapbox. So he definitely had the largest crowd there. And we were talking about, we heard this while we were there. We heard he was up in the straw poll by 8 points. And what is it? It's now what, Nigel? What did you hear? What did he finally win with? By 11?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard it was 11, 52 to 41 thereabouts. And I know there were a lot of different results coming through. They were coming through as the night went on. So that was the last result I saw. But we'll try and get an update on that as the night goes on.
Yeah, that was definitely good news. And Chuck Todd seemed to come out of his slump today and wake up and take notice. I love at the end of the interview, he's like, we're going to have to do a much longer inclusive interview of foreign policy and a lot of other things. And he's like, bring it. Bring it, baby. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, no, it's a great weekend. And this speech is supposed to be pretty impressive, too. They had to move the venue again. Is that correct? Or they moved it one time to a larger venue now?
Correct. We're at a larger venue. I think we're in the same university, but a larger area
Different spot,
in the university.
Right. That's
so, yeah.
that's why should this day be any different? That's what I say. So we're gonna.
I see Aman on the comments. Sorry, I see Aman on the comments said 51 to 44 was the result, so 7 points, but still,
44.
you know, over 50. There you go.
Nice. That's very good. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
I think right, John. Yeah, that's pretty
Well,
good news. So listen. I know. Do we have a reporter on deck right now, or can we talk to John a little bit since I've got him here in the chair? We got anybody burning out there in the field?
Nobody on deck? Go for it.
Oh, okay, cool. Because it's like literally it's 109 degrees here in Burbank, and I'm sure it's pretty hot out there in Iowa. And John and I were at a Burbank for Bernie event last night that he helped organize and bring together a number of Bernie groups: Glendale, Pasadena, West LA. Who else?
Northeast Los Angeles.
Northeast Los Angeles, and that was where we had our July 29th event, which you also were a volunteer for. So what, John? Why are you burning for Bernie?
Oh, dear God, it's just so obvious. Everything, nothing works. Government's been shut down, de facto shut down, and when I look at the platform, there I am, and that's not trite or anything. I mean, it's really true. I mean, everything I've thought over the years, especially about corporations, is not only being covered, but it's being discovered by young college people that I think might not have voted as much in other elections. So I think he's also drawing people to register.
Oh yeah.
And so I think it's what we're going to do is actually do education on Citizens United, and people still go, I don't even know what it is, you know.
Oh yeah.
I knew what it was the moment it happened, because I know when the Supreme Court, in June, you get the decisions. So
yeah.
But this summer went well for us. Okay, this is the summer that progressives had a lot of victories, but what's happening with Bernie is just beyond progressive. It's I think he's inventing some way to draw people together that might not have voted before.
Yeah, he's tapping into the disaffected voters that have been just complete. I guess there is that correlation between he and Trump, that they're both tapping into their disaffected bases, or perceived disaffected bases, and hopefully our guy is talking truth, and he's just trumping things up. He's just flying around in a helicopter, and he had a great line. He had a great line from the soapbox, Nigel. Did you catch that when Trump buzzed him, and he said, "Well, that's Donald Trump for you. I don't have a helicopter. It's in the garage. Oh, he didn't bring the helicopter. It's in the garage." So
that's right. That's right.
And I guess he buzzed Hillary too, and so he was, I'm sure I'd love to have been in there listening to him if he was at there. Oh look, there's Hillary. Let's go.
And
absolutely.
Go ahead, John.
I had noticed that for the first time, reporters spoke about the soapbox as the only time they had ever seen that electricity, not just the biggest crowd ever, but the electricity. And you could just see those people, and they're like, we're going to do it. I can feel it. And it's almost magic. I hate to say it that way, but it's like a little bit of a sparkle when you realize these people think like I do. Compassion, it's not that hard. It's frustrating that we have to be talking about this, really.
Right. Well, I think the mainstream media is starting to wake up a little bit. He was on. It was mostly Trump on Meet the Press today, but they did do a Bernie segment that Chuck did. He seems to have come out of his slump a little bit, his stupor. So
Trump called him sleepy-eyed Chuck Todd.
Sleepy-eyed Chuck Todd. Well,
I guess they're friends again.
He's the id, right? Maybe we can. You want to go to that, Nigel? You want to go to that Meet the Press clip? Do we have that queued up?
Yeah, if we have it queued up, why not? Because I think, like you were saying there, Dave and John, what you're going to see there is that Chuck Todd at least acknowledged that something real is happening here, and he says that right at the start. So if we've got that queued up, that'll be great to see.
Yeah.
Is this the 816 clip, guys?
Yeah, I think that's it.
I didn't upload it. I don't know.
One moment.
All volunteer network here, guys. Bernie 2016 TV. This is all possible because people came together on the Google Plus page, and we're spread out all over the nation trying to bring this to you. We're going to have folks on the ground in Iowa. I'm in Burbank. Nigel, you're on the East Coast. John's in Portland.
All right, I got it. Guys. Ready?
All right, here we go, guys. Meet the press, Bernie.
Here we go.
Welcome back. To understand what's going on in the Democratic primary, you have to sample the mood on the ground. And from my 3 days in Iowa, it's clear to me that the Bernie Sanders phenomenon is very real, with the Vermont independent senator attracting huge crowds. Senator Sanders joins me now from Iowa. Senator, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you.
I have to say I was both in Clear Lake, watched you there, watched you in the soapbox yesterday where you had so many people. The fair stopped. Forget Trump, forget Hillary Clinton. I think you might have had the biggest crowd yesterday. Why do you think you're resonating at this point, and how do you take this from being a movement that seems big in August, and how do you keep it from fading 5 months from now?
Well, Chuck, I think we are resonating all over this country and here in Iowa because we're talking about issues that are life and death issues to the American people. And that is the collapse of the American middle class, the massive and grotesque level of income and wealth inequality in this country, the fact that we are the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people, the fact that millions of working class families are now finding it very, very difficult to send their kids to college, and the basic fact that people are working longer hours for lower wages, and meanwhile almost all of the new income and wealth is going to the top 1%. And then you add to that a campaign finance system as a result of Citizens United that allows billionaire families like the Koch brothers and others to literally buy politicians and corrupt the American political process.
You know, Senator,
add all of that together, and the American people are saying enough is enough.
You know, the last time I had you on, and I asked you about what do you think of the comparisons between the phenomenon of what's happening with you and whether there were similarities with Trump, you were dismissive of it. But can I tell you, I can't tell you how many people came up to me and said both positive things about you and Trump at the same time, using things like the campaign money example and the outsider. What do you think you have in common with the Trump voter? Forget Trump, but the Trump voter.
Yeah, but here's the difference. You know, I am not a billionaire. My family doesn't have a whole lot of money. We are raising our campaign contributions from 350,000 people who are contributing, Chuck, on average, $31.20 apiece. That's our response, to go out to working class people, to go out to the middle class people and gain support. I think that's a little bit different approach than Donald Trump's.
BuzzFeed has an article out this morning. Headline is this: Sanders campaign reaches out to Black Lives Matter activists. Quote, I apologize, it took our campaign so long. Tell me more about it.
Well, that was sent out by a staffer, not by me. Look, we are reaching out to all kinds of groups. Absolutely. I met with folks at Black Lives Matter. We're reaching out to Latino groups. We're reaching out to the unions. We're fighting to expand Social Security, and we're reaching out to senior groups. We're reaching out to healthcare groups because we believe that everybody in America is entitled to healthcare. We're reaching out to everybody. But on this issue of Black Lives Matter, let me be very clear. The issue that they are raising is a very, very important issue. And there is no candidate for president who will be stronger in fighting against institutional racism and, by the way, reforming a broken criminal justice system. Chuck, we have more people in jail in the United States of America than any other country on earth. And we need real changes. We need to do away with the militarization of local police departments. We need to do away with minimum sentencing. We need education and jobs for our young people rather than jails and incarceration.
I understand that, but you said a staffer put it out, but you felt an apology was necessary?
No, I don't. I think we're going to be working with all groups. This was sent out without my knowledge.
Fair enough. Let me ask you something that Martin O'Malley said. Clearly was a reference to you earlier this week. I don't think it's a problem for the Democratic Party, but it might be a problem long-term for Senator Sanders. I am a lifelong Democrat, and I believe very deeply in the principles of our party. That's why I choose to be a Democrat, not just in presidential years, but every year of my life. This reference that you have not become a registered member of the Democratic Party. What do you say in response?
Well, legally, in the state of Vermont, you can't, legally become a member. You vote in the Democratic primary. I have done that. I've supported and helped Democratic candidates for governor in my state. I have been a member of the Democratic caucus for 25 years in the House and the Senate. I'm now the ranking member of the Budget Committee. But it is true, I am the longest serving independent in the history of the United States Congress. And let me tell you this, I think it is an advantage Because when I speak to 28,000 people in Portland, Oregon, or 27,000 people in Los Angeles, the vast majority of those people, they're not quote-unquote registered Democrats. They are ordinary people who are sick and tired of politics as usual. And by the way, one of the real advantages, I think, of me winning the Democratic primary is that we can get a lot of young people, a lot of working people involved in the political process, getting them out to vote in a way that establishment politicians can't. Democrats are losing because voter turnout is abysmal. I think we can change that.
Very quickly, during one of your largest applause lines is when you said, when you become president, you're going to focus on creating a healthcare system that's essentially Medicare for all. Does that mean you're going to scrap the Affordable Care Act and then try to implement Medicare for all if you're president?
Well, Chuck, what it means is we are, as you know, the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people. I live 100 miles away from Canada. They do it. We spend almost twice as much per capita on health care as do the people of any other country. So what we want to do is expand on Medicare. Medicare is a popular, good system. It covers people who are old. I want to see Medicare cover everybody. A Medicare for all single-payer program is the way, in my view, that you provide universal, quality, cost-effective health care, and we join the rest of the industrialized world.
All right, last question. Joe Biden, you welcome him into the race? Do you think he should run?
I have known Joe for many, many years, and everybody who knows Joe likes him and respects him. The decision as to whether or not he runs is his. If he does run, I promise him an issue-oriented campaign. We're debating the major issues facing the American people.
Help your campaign or hurt?
We'll let the political pundits determine that.
All right. Senator Bernie Sanders, I look forward to a longer, extended, issue-oriented interview at some point where we can do the gambit of issues, including some foreign policy in the near future, sir.
Love to do it.
Thank you.
Live.
So, Joe Biden, last question. He handled that pretty well, I think. Should he jump in the race? He's going to debate him on the issues. So I think that was a pretty decent speech. Interesting. There's some chat coming through on the YouTube here that talking about the apology or the non-apology. And he seemed a little thrown off by that. Nigel, don't you think?
Yeah, that question really caught him. Didn't catch him off guard. I would, some people say it caught him off guard, but it was an interesting question. He Todd asked the first time about the apology, and Benny said, it was by a staffer, and then Todd, being a reporter, went back to it and said, so you're saying there shouldn't have been an apology, and as Bernie said, well, we're going to work with all groups. We're working with all groups, and that's the message that he is trying to get out there through the noise, through the media obfuscation of this issue, and saying that we're working with all groups. He's got a racial justice policy, he's got an economic policy, and all those things combined are designed to benefit all. He's willing to work with all groups.
Yep, so, and he's absolutely, John. Let me jump in.
Well, I think what he's doing is he's protecting his ability to run on his record. His voting record has been he's been so pro-civil rights and so good with this, he really doesn't have to defend himself to anybody.
Right.
And there are so many people trying to get his attention that I think he gave Black Lives Matter a lot of attention. And I think
continues
it's a good
to,
thing.
and continues
absolutely.
to work.
And his record is solid. He doesn't need to evolve. So I think we're there.
Exactly. That's
we're there.
The conversation about it seemed to be like anybody but Bernie to go up against Hillary in case she falters. That's why Al Gore they're talking about, what we were just saying.
Well, Al Gore has no political momentum.
Right.
Joe Biden has no momentum.
Al's like, I will grow a beard just to get you people to stop talking about me running again.
But they might want to try to get Bernie's voters, eventually.
Well, and the youth and the kids.
Well,
the kids
I like the way they keep trying to drag Benny into first it was with Trump. He asked a question with Trump, trying to drag him into that comparison, and then at the end with Joe Biden, and
right.
Chuck was like, well, what about Joe Biden? And Benny stuck to his guns. He's like,
Yes.
If he enters, I've known him for a long time. If he enters, then let's have a serious debate about the issues and about the policies, and we'll go from there.
And let's have more debates. We want more debates.
More debates, absolutely.
Maybe that'll happen if Joe Biden does jump in. Maybe that'll give DWS a way out and be able to come up with some more debates because we have another candidate and that's why I've decided to add more so she doesn't look bad,
maybe someone will start Burbank for Biden and all 7 of them can come over and join us.
And speaking of which, John did this oligarchy sign. He created this art here, and he created the Bernie 2016 art back over here. He's a graphic artist. He works in Hollywood here, and as well as a great musician, of course. And we were at the event here in Burbank. So he's joining me here today, and we've got Nigel over there, and we've got a piece from there was a Hemp Fest was this weekend. Is that correct? Was it this weekend?
Yeah, it was this weekend, and we had one of our own reporters up there live at Hempfest, and he's got a report for us. I believe he recorded a report for us, did an interview, and we will be switching to him shortly, right?
Yeah, and that's the Utes. We got the Utes up there at Hempfest, so this is going to be a good perspective from some of the kids that are really. I talked to a young nurse last night at this event for a long time. She had a lot to say. You guys can find that. We'll link to it. And she really had a lot to say about the healthcare system and so much. She was great to talk to. And
she's a union nurse for Bernie.
She's a union nurse for Bernie, right?
California Nurses Association.
Which, John, you're writing another song for.
I wrote a song called Union Nurse.
Yes.
And we went to Huntington Hospital in Pasadena and we sang it. As we walked around and protested the treatment of the nurses as Huntington fought the union. And they had the votes, and when it happened, they lost. So people backed out. But we haven't stopped. And I've been friends with these people, and then this union endorses Bernie. So we had already had them at our 29th event, and then they endorsed Bernie the next week.
That's great.
People think I'm a genius, but it was just an accident.
You're sheer genius.
But
it's
Melanie,
just a synergy. It's a synergy. Melanie, yes, that's her name.
She's incredible, and she knows her stuff.
Yeah, she sure does.
And so she talked to you last night for 20
minutes. Yeah, she had a lot to say. It's really a good interview. We talked to a lot of really cool folks in the Burbank, Glendale area that are really excited for Bernie.
Absolutely.
And they're getting out on the ground. They've got a plan. They were very organized. Talked about ideas, wearing your Bernie gear so you can spark conversations. Mark, one of the organizers. He's talking. He's got his Facebook page, and now he's talking to his brother that he hasn't talked to in years about Bernie. So brings families back together. Bernie brings everybody together, and that's really what he's trying to do is create a coalition of all the people and all of their interests. So, do we have that video from Hempfest?
Yes, we do. And
cool, awesome. Let's go for it.
Let's see what real quick, I was just going to give you a little preview. I was volunteering at the booth that was set up for Bernie there at the Seattle Hemp Fest. A little background on Hemp Fest. It's a festival that's been in Seattle for over a decade. It was about the political aspect of hemp and cannabis use and production back in that time, or further back, and as it became legalized for medical, it shifted towards that, and with recreational, it's had another shift. But had another Bernie supporter come up and wanted to interview, so I went ahead and granted the interview, and that's basically what we have here.
Cool.
My bandwidth is right
awesome.
down.
Well, let's roll that beautiful Bernie footage.
No, it's not email. The kids are streaming video.
Here to volunteer at the Bernie booth we got here, Bernie for president. We just trying to get his name out there and trying to get more people informed about where he stands on the issues and that he's actually running. You'd be surprised at how many people don't know that he's running.
So, right, like in that, are you thinking about that in terms of these people here?
Yeah, I mean, you see here at Hempfest, there's a variety of people, and not necessarily people that you would run into in your normal everyday life. Like,
right.
a lot of people's circles wouldn't include a lot of the people that are here, and it's really important to me to get them engaged and make them feel like Bernie supports them too, because in my view, he does.
Why do you think they don't know about Bernie Sanders?
One reason is basically what's known on Twitter or whatever is Bernie blackout. Like, he's just now starting to make some penetration into the mainstream media markets, and that's a big issue.
So when you say blackout, you don't mean black people stopping him from being on the stage.
No.
You mean for the, watch out.
Yeah.
You mean the stupid.
Yeah, the mainstream media
Way
just,
that,
just ignoring him, and whenever they talk about him, it's always in context of Hillary, and Bernie makes a point to say, it's like he respects Hillary and he disagrees with her. And that's what he wants to keep it about, but usually whenever he does manage to get onto one of those shows, the first thing they want to ask is, what about this Hillary thing, or what about that Hillary
And
thing?
a lot of them don't know about Bernie.
Yeah,
what
no.
would you say to them? If you could say to something to this crowd, we're at HempFest.
If you think that you shouldn't vote for president, that you don't have to, that there's no reason, that there's nobody to vote for, look into Bernie Sanders. He represents a lot of the positions that you probably share yourself. Actually, you know what I'd say? Go to isidewith.com and find out if there's a president that you could or should vote for. Somebody that agrees with you. That's where
spell it out for
it's
people.
isidewith.com. isidewith.com.
I side with somebody, and they'll help you figure out who you side with.
Yeah, they got basically almost all the candidates. I don't think they've added the Green Party candidates yet, so that might miss some people. But
why would a young, like 20-something stoner want to vote for
Bernie? Yeah, why would you pick a 70-something-year-old Jewish bald guy? Like, what is he? Why would he have my interest?
Exactly.
Because he has since he's been in college. He's very much the same guy.
He's been what since college?
He's been for civil rights, for gay rights, for all these things. I think in the 80s particularly, but like he's.
What about for pot, man?
Yeah, and for pot too, I guess.
He was actually one of the first.
Yes, one of the first.
In the 80s, I think.
Yeah, in the 80s to decriminalize, and doesn't think that people should be put in prison for nonviolent pot offenses or other drug offenses, and it's ridiculous. I mean, there's a guy in Texas had a batch of brownies. 25 years he was facing. It's like, that's not the country I want to live in. If you
25 years he was what?
He was facing 25 years in prison for pot brownies.
And what about people of color after this whole thing? What was all that about?
With all that, it's like basically the bottom line is people are on the streets dying. And the people that are supposed to protect them aren't doing their job. Instead of being protection, a lot of times they're viewed as a threat, and it's a really big issue for them.
Suppose I'm a black person. I know that shit. Yeah. Why would I care about Bernie?
Bernie is going to. He said it at the Iowa Wing Ding. There will not be a president that will fight harder to end that than he. Whether he's got a new racial justice platform, and it's getting flushed out even more, and it wants jobs, not prisons. But it's not even about the jobs. What comes first is being able to get to and from work without having to worry about whether you're going to make it or not.
Right.
And so he may not have been there at the beginning, and it might not have been at the forefront of his mind. He comes from Vermont. It's almost all white. He doesn't have to deal with those issues in the state where he's from. And I think the protests have given him an opportunity to see how important it is to some people and to react.
And just to expand on that a little bit, I had a lot of things on my mind while I was there, so I did some more research on Bernie and cannabis, and mentioned in the 80s when he was mayor of Burlington that there weren't very many people arrested for pot possession or cannabis use or things like that. And also just wanted to say that from the people of color that I was talking with at the event, it's not so much that they're really against Bernie as much as they've not been appreciative of the backlash from some of the Bernie supporters.
Right.
And so that's really been that was a sticking point that I had, that when I was discussing Bernie and the issues with people of color, that was their take on it.
Well, I think I agree completely with them. I have issues with some of the way some of them reacted too, so yeah, that was great. So Richard, what was you?
I think Dave, Rich, what else was interesting was this week Cornel West came out again didn't give a tacit endorsement of Bernie Sanders, but he seems to be getting closer to that mark. It's the second time he's come out publicly and spoken about Bernie now, and I think he seems to be moving closer and closer to actually giving an endorsement, which would be a big thing for Bernie Sanders.
That would be pretty huge, actually. Yeah.
That's the compassion, you know, that Cornell, Brother Cornell is, he's just so passionate and such a great guy. And, you know, Bernie,
Well, he got arrested. He went to Ferguson and got arrested. Which, you know, hey, who knows? That might have been a pretty good thing for Bernie to do, too. I don't know. But, you know, yeah, he's definitely in the streets. And if he would endorse Bernie Sanders, that would be a coup.
Just one step, you know, in a long process. But it's hot, you know, it's going to be hot a year from now. August is a strange month, but we're organized a year and 3 months out, and I don't think the Republicans will be this organized next summer.
No.
Yeah, probably right.
I'm writing poetry. I mean,
it writes itself. The poetry writes itself.
We had a lady's designing tattoos, but they're temporary, you know.
Right.
So I don't know if I'm gonna. I'll wear one, I guess. So
yeah, it was, and I guess a lot of the Republicans are going to be at the fair today too. But Richard, yeah, that was awesome that somebody came up to you and asked and started to talk to you about Bernie. And of course, Richard Green is one of our volunteers here at Bernie 2016 TV. And we're an all-volunteer network trying to bring this stuff to you. And we have a web page now where people can upload videos. Is that correct? Maybe we can put that link up across for people to see or on the channel. But there's a specific web page for Bernie 2016 TV where you can upload videos just like that. If you're in an event and you talk to people and you want to get their word out about Bernie Sanders and why they support him. But I'd say that was pretty right on and nailed it. And that's interesting. I think your observations are really interesting too about that they're generally supportive and are just feeling they're not liking a lot of the Bernie supporters. And I think we need to just shut up, you know, and let the activists move the politicians like they're supposed to do, right? Not just what they're supposed to do.
Or I'll just hop in here real quick and
please,
get going.
No.
Like, I think you're absolutely right, and I think Bernie sets a pretty good example as far as, you know, just being accepting and listening. And I think really one thing that maybe not is articulated as well is what BLM and the people that are in support of it are really looking for is for Bernie and his supporters to be on board with their issues like they are with getting money out of politics or, you know, the various other issues that Bernie puts forth, climate change that he's really vocal about. And it's not just about what he's done in the past, but also about what he's doing today and now. And I think taking on Simone Sanders was a great move, and getting that racial justice platform out was a great move. And I think most people of color recognize that Bernie's the best option for them. They just want to know and feel that he's fighting as hard for their issues as he is for all the other issues that's part of the liberal progressive movement. So on that, I'll let you guys go ahead and move on, and thank you for having me on, and I'll keep tuned in.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it.
We seem to have lost Dave's audio.
All right. Okay.
I'm back. Sorry. I want to thank
there
Richard.
you go, Dave. We thought we'd lost you, Dave.
Yeah. No. I've got family visiting here too, so I'm trying to mute while I'm listening to everybody, and sometimes I forget to turn it on. But not only do we have John here, of course.
And may I add something real quick?
Sure.
That's where cannabis meets for-profit prisons and Black Lives Matter. It all meets in one place of this ridiculous over-policing of a certain aspect of the population for something that should have been legalized years ago. And can we close down the for-profit prisons? And that's what's going to be something that makes a difference when it happens, because everyone talks about it. It's never happened. They've been talking for 40 years.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And sometimes someone's going to come along and do something, and I think maybe he will. And people can look forward to that, closing those for-profit prisons down.
Well, we know Hillary's taken money from the private prisons, so we're not sure how much influence she's going to have. Life is complicated, yes, right, Nigel? But yeah, I just wanted to thank. I was muted. I just want to say thanks again to Richard for joining us, and he's been one of the volunteers here for a long time, since the inception, I think. And this is an all-volunteer network, and we're going to be bringing you the speech in about 20 minutes, it looks like. So stick with us here. We'll be chatting in the YouTube stream while the speech is on, and then we'll be back for wrap up. And hopefully we're going to talk to some folks on the ground. Do we have anybody lined up in at the university? Do we know of, Nigel? Is there anybody going to join us?
I think we've got one guy. Yeah, we've got one guy on the way. He's about 15 minutes away, as I understand. So our reporter's very close to the venue. We're actually still trying to line up a live stream of the event too. So, so we are actually working on that.
It's always a challenge to find these. Sometimes there's an official one from the campaign. Sometimes we grab it from a news station. C-SPAN had it last night, which was nice and consistent, except I think their audio dropped out for about a minute and everybody was screaming, but it came back and then it was great. So, if we can find, if you know of a good stream out there, guys, we're asking the Reddit community. Those guys are all tuned in to that. So if we have a good stream information, please pass it along. We are the media. We know that the mainstream media is not going to bring you the full version, and so we're gonna break the Bernie blackout on our own. And that's what we're all about here at Bernie 2016 TV, a network for the 99.
That's where I go when I'm looking to watch a Bernie speech.
We got a lot of subscribers last night, guys. I was talking to at the Bernie event, at the Burbank event, and they were all, "Yep, I just subscribed," and then they started. They're watching today, so we're growing. We got a lot of exciting things happening in September. It's going to be very exciting for Bernie. We have Bernie's birthday on the 8th. Money bomb for Bernie, $8 on the 8th. Which hopefully it's going to be a huge success thanks to our networks of people, the People for Bernie and Pat Spray and all of these folks that are really out there just tapping away on the keyboards, moving this information and getting people to jump in. I do $5 Fridays. We do that in Hollywood. We do $5 Friday on Hollywood on sets, right? We put the money in a bucket and then at the end of the night, somebody wins it. Usually you give it to the PAs. But $5 Friday for Bernie. Forget the latte, all you latte liberals. Just spend $5. Throw $5 in. 350,000 supporters at an average of $33 a piece to fund this political revolution. So that's pretty impressive.
And that will grow.
Oh, that'll grow, yeah. I know the average has stayed about the same because the numbers keep going up, and they're all small donations.
Well, I'm working for free, and I don't want any money.
Well, that's the thing. Time is also a way to do it, and that's what we're doing here. I mean, I can see literally in our hangout here, there's 5 people behind the scenes that are trying to bring this to you and bring you your views and conversation and comments and trolling or whatever you're doing, whatever you're here watching us for, we're glad you're here watching. And so, Nigel, what else is on your mind about Bernie right now? What's eating your craw, or what's exciting you?
Yeah, I think what's exciting, obviously, apart from this upcoming speech, is Bernie going into the heartland of the South next week.
Yes.
Down in South Carolina. That's certainly going to be exciting to see. Yeah.
Well, what do you think? Do you think he's going to get the numbers?
I think so. I think so. And that's going to be a real test of his appeal, especially to the African American community and also his crossover appeal that he mentioned on Meet the Press this morning as an independent. And I think people will be surprised at the numbers that turn out there in both Columbia, Greensville, and Charleston he's going to be at, I believe. So.
Three venues. Wow. And then also, and now we're hearing, I saw come across, he's going to be in Chicago tomorrow. He might be dropping in Chicago. Is that true? Did I see that? Put it up there in the YouTube chat if you guys know about that. I heard he's going to drop in over there. And then Tuesday, he's going to be in Nevada, and we're going to bring you that here too. So make sure you join us on Tuesday night. I don't know what we can I don't know what's going to happen maybe with Chicago, but maybe we can get somebody out there to record something and put it up on the link, which I posted and we'll post again for the event information. So
I think, Dave, I'm just seeing some comments go by, and Alfred Samuel said, the difference between Bernie and Obama is that Obama eventually acquiesced and took super PAC money, and Bernie's refusing to. And, you were talking about the donation being an average of $31, $33 from 350,000 donors. It's a concern in the back of my head, the fact that he is going to be relying on the small donor and possibly a little bit from the unions, but it is definitely a concern when you consider the amount of money that the Republican opposition and even in the Democratic primary that they have at their disposal. There is going to be a tough uphill battle there to match money-wise, where really it comes down to if you've got 300,000, 400,000 volunteers that are committed. One way to overcome that money is to actually commit time and effort to Bernie's campaign.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. Well, Bush is going to spend, I just saw this morning, he's going to spend $10 million in his first ad buys. And Bernie obviously doesn't have that to do that, so we're going to have to be that for him. And that's what the Bernie 2016 TV is all about. We are the media, and we're going to be his media buys because we can volunteer and get the information to the people for an educated electorate. So that's what we're trying to do. And South Carolina and Nevada, I think, are going to be huge to see what the response is. They're very important. They're two of the early primary states. You need to make sure you guys are ready to vote in the primaries. Check your state, find out how to register, how you need to register to vote for Bernie in the primary in your state, because every state's a little different. Vermont, we were talking to Vermontian Sabin from yesterday. He was saying that in Vermont, you just walk in and you tell them which primary you want to vote for, and they give you the ballot. And you don't have to declare anything, and you don't have to prove anything. You just it's something called democracy, and it's pretty interesting. And then there's the states that are making it harder and harder for people to vote.
And look carefully at all the propositions too.
And all the propositions. We have one. I'm not sure the number. Maybe if somebody knows that here in Cali, can put that up. But we have a proposition, I believe, to make it automatic that you're registered to vote in California coming up on the next election. I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. But I know they're talking about it. And Governor Brown is. I saw. What about Bernie and Brown? Brown is VP. That would be, talk about the octogenarian ticket.
How about Gavin Newsom?
But no, Gavin Newsom. I don't know if you saw. He did an interview.
You heard it here first.
He did an interview locally, and I immediately thought he would make a great VP.
He is smart.
Yeah.
He is on it.
Yep.
That guy knows what he's talking about, and he's passionate, and he's progressive, and he's a nice man. He really is. He's a good guy. He's going to be a governor one day.
Oh yeah. Oh no. He's going to be governor of California if nothing else. And Lawrence Wilkerson, I think, would make a great Secretary of Defense. So I'm floating those ideas to the Bernie camp right now. Yeah, let us know what you think.
Dave, let me ask you a question. There's and John as well. There's a comment in there from Cone Vanderlaan about he heard on the Tom Hartman show that a caller had rung up and said he was inspired by Bernie Sanders' campaign. He was so inspired that he's actually going to run for mayor of his local town, the caller. Wow. And he was asking if we had heard more stuff like that from the circles that we travel in, people getting inspired by Bernie's no-nonsense approach to politics and his integrity and authenticity, other people getting inspired to really get engaged in the political process beyond just being a supporter to actually trying to obtain a seat in office at whatever level. I don't know if you've heard anything like that from your friends.
Well, I think so, and I think that tapping into maybe 30 to 40 million people who don't vote, you don't even know what the polls are going to do if they come out and vote. But yes, I know someone who's going to register and vote for the first time, and she's missed 4 or 5 elections in her life, and a Republican friend of mine said, I think I'm going to do this, and it's because he sees the Bernie people at my house, and he wants to get involved. I mean,
well, I know there are certainly people that are getting re-engaged. I don't know anybody specifically that has decided to run because of this. I know several folks have told me that you should run, Dave, because you seem very passionate about this. But I'll stick to this end. I smoke way too much pot. So of course, I guess that could be my issue, right? But no, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, he does give hope that this political process, there is maybe some hope in it, and maybe if there is a good turnout, and he does get better and better in polls, because it does come down. We were talking about that. All politics is local. And that's how the Republicans took over, folks.
That that caller to the Tom Hartman show is actually watching. It's James Roach. He just put up in the comments there.
Hello, James.
It's him.
You
He's
know
an
James?
economics major.
No.
James, congratulations.
I
And
think James might have been watching. James might have been the only guy watching me last night too from Gordon Biersch. I don't know. I thought I saw him online, but he's been watching before. Okay, cool, James. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You want to run, bro? You should run too. But local, that's the way the Republicans did it. They got very active locally and took over school boards and the state houses.
And they can outspend you, and there's just no way to actually get a good, honest young person elected unless
Citizens United keeps flowing money in all of those local elections too.
And we have to educate people on that. And we have to educate people on what's wrong. Our foreign policy over the last 50 years is just horrible. Nothing worked, and we have to focus our efforts on a foreign policy that just works. I'm appalled. These generals are smart people, and God bless them. I know it's a hard job, but everything we do kind of falls apart overseas. And I mean, we're still in Korea.
Well, you know, Donald Trump, he wants to be the cop of the world again. That's his deal.
Yeah.
And push our power more
start a war.
assertively. I think, based on his comments when he landed in Iowa, he's ready to bomb the day he gets in. I guess Walker's the same way, right?
We can have $20 a gallon gas, so that would be great. Nice war.
Yeah, and
sure.
then there's oil prices now. What's that all about? Boy, it's really a dynamic time in this world, isn't it? All this, we have political revolution happening here in the United States. We've got
the Keystone Pipeline,
cats and dogs living together.
Gas. Yeah,
it's just
well, Dave, John, I think it's not just in the United States. There was a story going around the other day that Bernie's equivalent over in the UK, I forget the guy's name.
Yeah, I saw
also
that.
News. Yeah, I think people are beginning to wake up and rebel around the world in the major economic countries against the obscene hoarding of wealth that's going on, and they're saying enough is enough. And let's face it, the U.S. right now it seems to be that we've tapped right into that, and Bernie's proving it. So, Jeremy Corbyn, the socialist who's tearing Britain's Labour Party apart. Thanks for that. Thanks for that quote there, Rich.
That's the one.
Well, will there come a time where the Bernie Sanders people tell corporations, maybe we're not going to buy your refrigerator unless you move your factory to the United States, and maybe that kind of power can be had, and that's a good thing.
Well, it's certainly,
it's
I think it's certainly showing that with Rush Limbaugh, he continues to lose major sponsors and networks. And so I think, and there's a lot, and there's a lot of divestment in oil. With universities, and so there's a lot of economic leverage that we could have as citizens. We can vote with our dollars, and
how about
companies we
maybe
support
not going to certain states that have really bad laws, and
I got a list.
Not going on vacation.
I got a list. I'm not going to
for
many of those reasons.
I don't.
So we're hearing that our reporter on the ground in Iowa, our intrepid reporter on the ground, is making his way through all the traffic headed to see Bernie. There's apparently lots of traffic. I don't know if it's to see Bernie, but I'm hoping it is.
What's their name?
Yeah, do we have that? Who is the reporter who's coming in? John, do we know? Or
I'd like to thank them because...
Paul Schaefer. Paul Schaefer. No, that's the guy. We don't have Paul Schaefer. He's England.
Paul Schaefer?
No. No, is it Paul Schaefer? Wait, I see Paul Schaefer over here. Jeremy Corbyn.
Paul Schaefer is our reporter.
He's our reporter. Okay.
Not the Paul Schaefer that used to work with Dave Letterman.
No.
Dave. I'm at the Bernie event.
Schaefer.
Yeah, no, it's not. But Paul Schaefer, we're waiting for Paul Schaefer to join us and give us a look of who's going to see Bernie at the university. I don't know what the capacity of this venue is. If anybody knows, throw it up there. We are the media. Let's stick together and keep the information flowing. 1,700 capacity. 1,700 capacity is what I'm hearing, allegedly.
That seems small. Isn't it bigger than that?
I don't know. It is Iowa. It is Iowa. I don't know what the largest events have been in Iowa yet that he's done. But we'll see. It's
Shoeless Joe went to Iowa.
Who's that?
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Oh, Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Field of Dreams.
Yes, indeed. It looks like we might have lost Nigel. Nigel needs to refile. rejoin us. We're working on that. Nigel, you back with us? There you go.
All right.
See you again.
Yeah, look, you see, this is one of the arguments, I guess, for net neutrality. Not that that's what's affecting me right now, but
Well,
let me tell you.
we could all certainly use more bandwidth, brother. You know, there are countries around this world that get way more bandwidth than we do. So, you know,
I think Bernie's on that.
Yes, I think Bernie's on that.
I think
too.
bandwidth helps Bernie.
Bandwidth for Bernie, for sure.
Bandwidth.
Oh, holy, that is a great idea. What that people could maybe people could donate their bandwidth so that Bernie could get a really good stream everywhere he goes. You know, I don't know if that's doable. Maybe you tech geniuses out there can figure out how that works. But that would be great because that would be great. I mean, in Los Angeles, I tried to stream. Everybody was trying to get stuff out of LA, but even the campaign couldn't get anything out. It was just a radio frequency nightmare.
I got it
in downtown LA.
I saw it. And,
Did you?
Yeah. Every time he said something and the crowd went crazy, they turned down the audio.
Right.
It must have helped him somehow.
Right.
But
Well,
halfway through,
it
was good. Halfway through, it got fixed, and so I saw the last half.
Mm-hmm.
And what a great event! And everyone who came to our event last night was there, except for me.
Right. So did we? Let's check in. Did we find a stream? Are we going to have a stream? And our reporter is getting close. Nigel's back. We've got your comments. We got about 200 folks watching. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We're going to bring you the stream as soon as we get it. You'll be able to watch Bernie directly from the university. What university is it? I keep saying the university, and I would like to call it its actual name. But College Student for Bernie. Yep. The kids are all taking that Facebook quiz, all the millennials I know, and they come up with, oh, wow, 97% Bernie Sanders. Who's Bernie Sanders?
Can I say something about the USC Trojans for Bernie?
Okay,
have
great.
Created an event to watch the debate, the first one on Tuesday in October, and it's 350 people who are going to probably fill that place up.
That's great. And we're going to do an event also for the debate. 125 people here.
We'll be live.
We're going to do it live. I'm going to be there, and it'll be up
the
here
Bell
at the
Golf Course, the patio, Burbank for Bernie, Glendale for Bernie Sanders.
And there is an event on your Burbank for Bernie has a Facebook page. All of these groups have Facebook pages.
Please,
this is what
join
was the conversation last night was, let's everybody get on the Facebook, get those pages going, and then send the information back and forth and post those events. So Burbank for Bernie, find him on Facebook and join that event, or join a local event to watch the debate on the 13th. And watch it here. Watch it on Bernie 2016 TV, because we're going to have witty banter, critical analysis, and your comments, of course.
And hopefully good bandwidth as well. Hey,
hopefully
Dave,
yes.
Going back to the NBC Meet the Press video, one of the questions that was asked of Bernie Sanders was in regards to Trump and not being, the whole billionaire thing, and Bernie said, well, I'm not a billionaire. And I believe we've actually got a pretty cool video, an oligarchy video, that maybe we can run that.
That's great.
Queuing it up.
Oligarchy. There's the definition. You can't read it, but we'll read it for you.
Mr. President, in the year
people run the world.
2015, with a political campaign finance system that is corrupt and that is increasingly controlled by billionaires and special interests, I fear very much that, in fact, government of the people, by the people, for the people, is perishing in the United States of America. Our vision for the future of this country should be one in which candidates are not telling billionaires at special forums what they can do for them. Our vision for democracy should be one in which candidates are speaking to the vast majority of our people, working people, the middle class, low-income people, the elderly, the children, the sick, and the poor, and discuss with them their ideas as to how we can improve lives for all people in this country. Mr. President, let us be frank, let us be honest. The current political campaign finance system is corrupt and amounts to legalized bribery.
There we are. We're back now from that video. So there you go, oligarchy, and that's not the first time, you know, that Bernie's spoken about that. You know, I remember there's another video out there where you know, he's warned about this for many years, the way this has been shaping up. So it's certainly a problem, certainly something that needs to be addressed, and it's one of the central tenets of his campaign. And you know, it's one of those things where he really is the only candidate that has the integrity and the authority to truly talk to that issue and talk to the issue of money in politics, because everyone else, they may talk about it, but they're on the out of their backhand, they're pretty much taking money for it.
Yeah, there is something called OpenSecrets.org and several other websites that track exactly, you know, where the money's coming from and who's giving it to them. And yeah, they can talk about it, and but you know, Bernie's got the gravitas and the record to stand up for the fact that he's been against these guys from the very beginning, and he admits that they hate him, and he welcomes their hate. He welcomes their hatred.
Now Bernie is in line with one Republican, completely in line with a great Republican named Eisenhower, who warned that this would happen.
Yep.
That we would, every time a helicopter gets shot down, people die, but companies make money, and it's okay if you have to have a war, but you just can't have wars that never end, because there's no way to get out. It's like a trap. It's like a muck mire that we're in. Just like Vietnam, we underestimated the insurgency, but the politicians want to make us think it's a good idea. We should go back.
Well, that's their go-to. That's their go-to for foreign policy. Is you know,
they're not going to spend millions of dollars on that. They're going to spend millions and millions of dollars to say it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And so I think we're on the right side of history there too.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Sabin is saying that in 1989 he spoke about it as the mayor of Burlington. So he's been going up against these guys for a long time, and he's been winning elections doing it.
Exactly.
he's won. You know, he lost the first couple ones, but you know, if you look at that tail of the tape, I think that's where it has it in it. But it shows his progress of how he got higher and higher as he was. Even though he lost, he got higher and higher, and eventually he just crushed his competition. And then he's been crushing them ever since. So as a democratic socialist, as an independent, always fighting the banks and working for the people. So I think Iowa is the perfect spot for him to connect to people. He's certainly connected with the people yesterday, and we know he's going to connect to the people at the university tonight. And we're looking for the stream, guys. We're working on it. Still waiting on our reporter. We're glad you're joining us. This is all a grassroots media revolution. We're all volunteers here at Bernie 2016 TV. We're all Bernie supporters that want to get his issues out, your issues about Bernie. If you want to get involved, go to the Google Plus page for Bernie 2016 TV, and you can volunteer. You're going to be at an event coming up. We hear he's going to Chicago tomorrow. He's going to be in Reno on Tuesday, and then South Carolina, 3 events next weekend. So if you can be a reporter on the ground for any of those things, if you're going to Periscope, let us know. We'll pull in a Periscope feed. We're in Hangouts. If you want to join in the conversation and be a reporter like Richard, or you have a video you want to share, you can upload it and join in and talk about it. This is all about you guys and the people and getting your views and Bernie's views. And so please get involved. We're going to have a lot. Nigel, we got a bunch of shows starting up in September. People that want to do their own live shows. John and I are talking about it. We're going to do Feel the Burn TV. We're going to maybe do it in his studio. He's got a big enough studio that where we can actually have bands that come in and play with us. So we're going to basically do a show in that vein. I know everybody loves my set. I love my set. And John's stuff here just adds to it. But I am in my living room, and if we can expand a little bit and bring you a little more production value for hanging out with us instead of just looking at our ugly mugs, we want to do it. So,
and I've got a green room and a gold room.
Right. And speaking of that, we are really reaching out to a lot of musicians. That's sort of one of our goals at Bernie 2016 TV is getting bands involved. Bands for Bernie is really is hooked up with us in the community, and we're really trying to reach out there to you, Michael Franti and Spearhead. Come on, brother. Yellfire. Oh, maybe we can play Yellfire later. I'll find a good video of him live, and we can do that on YouTube. But
well, I think, Dave, yeah, I mean that's that's an important point, right?
Yeah.
So what we see right now is we see all this enthusiasm, right, to the point where Chuck Todd is now starting to recognize it. The mainstream media is starting to recognize the enthusiasm. And one of the questions this morning was, how do you translate that enthusiasm into action? And I think it's by other people seeing action. So if you're inclined out there to write a song, like Tony Teague or the Windborne Singers, some of those people that we've
or John McPhee,
John McPhee, right there, or even just record a short YouTube video yourself of why you support Bernie Sanders, what issue is important to you, and put that out there on YouTube. Get other people to see that, hey, everyday people support Bernie. There's some good videos out there from Republicans, from ex-vets, and I know we're going to have a veteran ex-vets show on Bernie 2016 TV. But that's really the next step. Start showing your friends, your community, other people that you are engaged, you do support, and then the next step after that is to translate it into actual action, and that's the way we're going to get Bernie Sanders elected. And then once he's elected, we continue to follow up to make sure that the changes that that he's promoting and in the policies actually happen and actually take place. So that's really the pathway to getting this country back on track.
That's right. You're absolutely right on target.
And when he does get elected, the very next morning we start on 2020.
Well, yeah.
There's a lot of work to do.
Well, I'm curious to see what he wants to do in his first 100 days. It's another media concept created for no frickin' reason. And it's like it's kind of an abstract thing. Nobody can really do anything in 100 days. But what is the first 100 days? But yeah, we need to visualize it, guys. We need to visualize Bernie in the office, doing the State of the Union, walking down that aisle, and really pulling the country together. He has shown that he can cross party lines and work with different sides.
There's nothing like honesty.
Nothing like that's right. I mean, that's sort of what is fueling Trump. The perception is that he is not giving them another line of BS from a politician.
Exactly. They're tired of just hearing people talk and do nothing. That's all it is.
Yeah. And
the de facto government shutdown, and I blame John Boehner. I do. And the grand bargain was so close, and they both got mad at each other, and we didn't get a grand bargain, and we got years of slowed down government. It's terrible. But we're going to make a change, and that's what we're doing. So I guess we have hope.
We have hope. We have hope again, guys. I think there was certainly a lot of hope in that room last night.
Electric.
It might have been the beer. I don't know.
We had two people walking down the street who said, "Hey, could we come in?" I'm like, "Come on in."
Yeah.
We had a family that couldn't speak English, and we made Bernie coloring pages for the kids, and we gave them crayons. I told them they could keep them, and they had a great time just watching us organize.
Well, and the big conversation was connecting with people, like you say, and talking about Bernie, wearing your Bernie gear, and getting the conversation going with people around.
Making buttons, making posters.
Yeah, there's a lot of great shirts out there, guys. If you give your money to Bernie for sure. But if you reach that cap, or you want to support a local artist that is supporting Bernie, go for it. There's some great Bernie wear. Anything that gets the conversation going.
And I've identified a real problem with Bernie apparel is I'm big and tall.
Right.
And I cannot wear a midriff shirt.
That's right.
Well, so I'm going to make my own shirt. But maybe a big and tall company for Bernie will say, I'll make shirts. Maybe there's a company out there.
I don't know. You could go to Walmart wearing your midriff Bernie shirt. You'd fit right in. It would be no. I love the Walmart shoppers.
Listen, we love Walmart, even though we don't allow them to be in Burbank.
Which is that's the irony of that is the four richest people in the world and some of the poorest people in the world shop at Walmart. It's just really
it's funny how the money flows.
Juxtaposition is crazy. Yeah, it is funny how money flows, guys. So we're looking for updates here, guys. We're looking for a stream from Iowa. We're looking for our reporter. Apparently there's lots of traffic. I'm sure they're going to be delayed because of getting people into the venue. It's not unusual for that to happen.
Are they a tripod? Or handheld?
I don't know. We don't know who has the stream, who's going to have the stream, if they're going to be on their phone.
Portland was wonderful. It's really
Iowa.
Nice.
Portland, yeah. It's been a mixed bag. It's been a mixed bag.
That's why we need unions. We need union techs and union grips and union.
Everybody's working in town here. It's a very busy. Hollywood's picking up.
Yeah,
which is
Hollywood's
nice.
picking up.
Thank you, Louisiana. Thank you, Bobby Jindal, for getting rid of your tax incentives and bringing ABC Disney back to Hollywood. Thank you
And
so
thank you
much.
thank you for trying to stop them moving the Confederate statues.
Oh yeah,
Progress.
that was a good. Yeah, he says, "Nah, we can't get rid of those statues."
That's progress.
Bobby.
And Dave, I just see another
Yes.
comment coming by. I think it's pronounced Cynic Girl. You know, some of these YouTube names are a little bit hard to pronounce.
Cynic
but
girl, yeah, that's
says, I
cynical
think
girl.
instead
Cynical
of
girl.
Cynical Girl, there you go. Instead of $8 on the 8th, I'm going to make my money bomb $74 for his 74th birthday.
Oh, hey, there you go. Latte liberals. That's a good one.
There you go.
You
People are
got a little
giving
extra
more.
money in your Tesla? Put
They're
that in
giving
there.
more money.
74 for Bernie. I dig that. I'm going to do that one. That's going to be. I'm going to do them both. I'm going to do them both. That's great. Cynical girl. Not cynical girl anymore, are you? That's pretty good.
When we have our debate, it's $20 per person. We got a great deal on some great food. Oh, they gave us such a great deal, including tip and everything. But I'm going to buy 5 tickets, and we're going to invite local college and high school kids interested in politics.
That's a great idea.
Especially 17-year-olds
idea.
that might turn 18 between now and then.
That's a great
because
idea.
they're out there and they don't even think they can participate. They think you have to be 18.
Sponsor a kid, sponsor
Yes.
a college kid to come and to your event if you're hosting an event where you've got some food or you're trying to cover some costs to bring people together. That's a great idea. Bring a couple of kids there. I was in we stopped by for the after party. We got a stream coming. We got something coming. I hear noise.
I can hear
Let me know if I should shut up.
Reporters come in, guys. I'm going to mute the audio till we get him set, okay?
Okay, cool. That's our reporter. Great. To it as soon as we get a better signal. That might be our reporter on the ground, so we're going to go to that. But yeah, we were leaving after the official event. We went to the after party where we recorded John's song. After party was the 3 of us, John, me, and my wife, and we had some great conversation and recorded that music. And but we stopped by the liquor store on the way to get some Biskies, and this kid, I mean, he had to be, I mean, maybe
16.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was buying booze, but he was pretty young. I think he was of voting age because he said he was registered. So he was really young, but he saw our buttons and our shirt. He was like, Bernie Sanders.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He completely reacted. We gave him a button, and then the guy behind the counter, we were talking. I'm like, yeah, free college, and he went, free college? I'm like, yeah, and it's all, and he's going to pay for it, no problem. And nobody's taxes are going to go up except for some of these hedge fund guys are going to pay a little Robin Hood tax. And he was like, free college? He didn't care. He didn't care who was going to pay for it. But that's Bernie, man. He's connecting with these people everywhere.
Revolutions are always tough, and I'm kind of just joking. But last night it was dangerously hot, and I'm not lying. And we were outside because we had a private patio, but it was 95 degrees at 8:30.
Yeah, I was dripping, but people came out. We had a full table. When I walked in, I was really surprised at the turnout. I thought it was great. We had a big, full, long table with people exchanging emails, talking about tactics, about
scheming and
dreaming, baby, about the political revolution. So, Nigel, are you going to any meetings? Are you going to any groups while you're out there?
That's our reporter coming in.
I think that's Paul coming in.
It is Paul coming in, guys.
We've got Paul. Paul Schaefer. Can you hear us, Paul? Looks like you might have frozen up.
We're trying with the bandwidth, guys, right now. Yeah.
Is there anything I can do? If I bring mine down a little bit, will it help?
No, let's just keep talking to him.
Okay. So this is, we're all grassroots here, guys. We're doing this on cell phones, on tablets, with Hangouts, with Periscopes. I was Periscoping last night's event too for about an hour and a half, and so we're pulling it in from you guys and whatever you've got. We've got cell phones. These are the tools of democracy now and revolution, kids. The cell phone and the iPad. These are tools of democracy and revolution, and keeping authorities accountable. To the Constitution and to their oaths and to protecting and serving as opposed to other things. So the more we can expose politicians and corrupt police officers and show good police officers doing what they're supposed to be doing, and because we know they're there and they don't get the press, we should be highlighting them too.
We need standards in police training.
Oh yeah.
They have to be
created
by the community too.
that's part of Bernie's really comprehensive social justice platform. They put it out pretty quickly after Seattle, and I'm sure there was some impetus because of the activists to get it out faster than they may have been ready to, because obviously they had been working on it. It was a very comprehensive platform, but I think it really the activists brought it to the foreground and made him and spurred him to move forward and meet and talk and not apologize. I know we were talking about that. It turns out, he said, we're reaching out to everyone. I'm not apologizing for not doing it too soon, because we have been reaching out. So
because his record,
his record
you can't deny that he's been on the right side of this all along.
Exactly.
He was.
So we are frantically looking for a stream. If there's maybe they're having issues too.
I'm going to put out a positive wave.
And we're still trying to get our reporter. He's obviously having some issues too. I think anytime we're gonna this is probably something we're gonna have to deal with on a regular basis, guys, because anytime you get that many people together that are trying to get information out, it's
well, doesn't someone have like a van that's a bandwidth van that you could park at a Bernie event that would help the local bandwidth?
I know we don't take
Dave.
Money donations here at Bernie 2016 TV. We want you to give your money to Bernie because he really needs it. And but equipment, we could use a van. If somebody's got a van, we could fly or chase Bernie around in our little bus or a little Winnebago or something that can.
I'm ready to go on the road.
We're dreaming, baby. But who knows?
Maybe we'll travel.
I think an extra live stream account would probably be just appreciated at the moment. So we're trying to get it in. We're getting your tweeters, your twits, and your comments coming across the channel. So hit us with those hashtags. I think we're following Feel the Burn and Bernie 2016 TV, or Bernie 2016 rather. And let's see, what else did we glean from Meet the Press today? Oh, I know one thing I gleaned from the media earlier today, Nigel. I don't have the clip, but all they could talk about were the crowds of Bernie Sanders, or rather not Bernie Sanders, of Hillary and Trump, and how the crowds just following them around, and that Trump had when he was walking down the concourse, it was just shut down behind him. And they literally ignored him for about 2 hours, two segments, 2 full segments on the news, until they got one reporter up on MSNBC that said, well, Bernie Sanders actually had probably a bigger crowd than they did. And she said, well, thank you for including Alex Witt. Thank you for including that third candidate. That had a bigger crowd than everybody else, which is hilarious.
And it seems they report on things that had happened 3 days ago, but other more exciting things happened 1 day ago. But they're showing Black Lives Matter interrupting after he had already had them open in Los Angeles.
They are so behind, guys.
Yeah.
You saw it right here first, live. We were streaming it for you. We talked about it. I think everybody, weekend, all of these groups, People for Bernie are breaking news so much faster than the mainstream media, and through the Twitter accounts of all these groups. And I, of course, anything that comes through just gets. I try to push through as often as I can. Nigel,
Dave,
jump in here. What are you seeing? What's going on?
Yeah, so Dave, what we're trying to get our reporter in on the ground, we do have something special that most people will not have seen, and that's a video from Iowa this morning. Bernie was at the Whispering Pines, I think it is. It's a bit of a long video, but as soon as we get a stream on board, we will cut this video and switch to the live stream. Maybe that might be a good way to go.
Okay, great. That'll give us a little break, because we were kind of expecting for Bernie to come up or get a stream and have a reporter. Yeah. So we'll adapt. We'll play a little video, and then we'll as soon as we get a stream, we're going to put it up. So stay with us, and we'll throw it up there. So maybe we can put a crawl or something down below the video just to let people know we're going to be back with the stream when we get it while the video is watching. I don't know if that's possible. But let's do that. Let's go to that video, and we'll bring you Bernie as soon as we see him. Or our reporter.
I think Maria started the discussion off right. And what she's that we cannot accomplish. Think of where we were 30, 40 years ago in terms of civil rights. And because of the work of Iowa, and because of people all over this country saying we're not going to judge a candidate based on the color of his skin, but by his ideas, we have elected the first African-American president. But that happened because for decades, millions of people stood up and said, we are going to do everything we can to end racism in the United States. Think of where we have come in terms of women's rights. I can remember back in 1981, when I was mayor of the city of Burlington, we appointed the first woman police officer. People thought it was a big deal. That's right, and people are laughing. But then it was a big deal. Now, more women than men in medical schools, more women than men in law schools. We are breaking down sexist barriers all over this country. And that happened because women and their male allies stood together and said, you know what? This country is going to treat all people equally, male or female. And then just think about the huge changes that have come into this country, not in the last 30 years, not in the last 20 years, just the last 10 years. Nobody here 10, 15 years ago would have believed that in conservative states throughout America, those states would be voting or passing legislation to allow for gay marriage. But millions of people, this doesn't happen by accident. Millions of people said, wait a second, my brother is gay. My friend is gay. We are going to end discrimination against gay people, and that is what's happened. So what's the point? The point is that change does not take place when a president signs a piece of legislation or when a Supreme Court makes a decision. Change takes place from the grassroots on up. And the good news is we have made real progress in recent years in creating a less discriminatory society, and we should be proud of that. But we must also recognize that there is one area where not only have we not made progress, but we have lost ground, and that is the economic struggle. This is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. That's where we are today. Wealthiest country in the history of the world, but most Americans don't know that. You know why? Because they're working 2 or 3 jobs trying to survive. They can't afford to send their kids to college. I was in Des Moines a couple of months ago talking to some people connected to an emergency food shelf, and they said 90% of the people going into the emergency food shelf were working people. But they're not earning enough money to feed their families. There are old people in Iowa and in Vermont trying to survive on $12,000, $13,000 a year. Social Security can't buy the medicine, can't buy the food they need. This is the wealthiest country in the history of the world, but most people don't know it because almost all of the wealth and all of the income is going to the top 1%. And what we are here to say today is enough is enough. This country, this great country, and our government belong to all of us and not to a handful of billionaires, and that is what this campaign is about. I think today about my own state, and I think about Iowa, and I think about America. And I think about a middle class, a great middle class, a middle class that was once the envy of the world. People all over the world look to the United States and our middle class. And today, for the last 40 years, not 10, not 20, 40 years, this great middle class has been disappearing. And meanwhile, while the middle class disappears, while we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major country on earth, we have seen a proliferation of millionaires and billionaires. And what we are saying today, loudly and clearly, is that we need an economy that works for working families, not for billionaires. Now, one of the fun things about running for President of the United States is that even if Congress doesn't like what you're talking about, even if the media doesn't like what you're talking about, we are going to push the truth out to the American people, no matter who likes it or not. And here is the truth. Here is the truth. That the United States of America today has more income and wealth inequality than any other major Western country on earth, that it is worse today in terms of inequality than at any time since 1928, that if you can believe it, just listen to this, the top 1/10 of 1%, not 1%, top 1/10 of 1% owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. That is not what America is supposed to be about, and you and I are going to change that. America is not supposed to be about one family, the Walton family, owning more wealth, one family, than the bottom 40% of Americans. America is not supposed to be about 14 of the wealthiest, the 14 wealthiest people in this country earning over the last 2 years $156 billion increase in their wealth, more wealth than is owned by the bottom 130 million Americans. All right? That is not what this country is supposed to be about. And what our job is to do is to create an economy that works for working moms. Our job is to create an economy, that says that seniors can live with dignity. Our job is to say that we're going to create an economy in which we have the lowest rate of childhood poverty, not the highest of any. What this campaign is about is saying to the billionaire class, you can't have it all. You can't get huge tax breaks that the Republicans want to give you when children in America go hungry. You cannot continue to ship out jobs to China when millions of Americans desperately need work in this country. What we are saying to the billionaire class is their greed is destroying America, and we are going to stop that greed, whether they like it or not. When we talk about the economy, it's important to understand that real unemployment is not the 5.3% which you read about in the papers. I hope you all know that. Those figures, that government statistic, does not include people who have given up looking for work and people who are working part-time when they want to work full-time. And that all together, real unemployment is over 10%. And here's something that almost nobody talks about. We have a major crisis in this country in terms of youth unemployment. You all know that? I asked the Economic Policy Institute to do a study for me to find out what real youth unemployment was for young people who graduated high school between 17 and 20. This is what they found. If the kids are white, 33% real unemployment. Hispanic, 36%. African American, 51%. This is an issue that cannot be pushed underneath the rug. It's an issue that has to be dealt with, and I'll tell you why. Because if anybody here thinks there is not a connection between high youth unemployment and the fact that we have more people in jail than any other country, you would be sorely mistaken. We have 5.5 million young people in America not in school, not at work, and many of them are hanging out on street corners in Iowa and in Vermont and all over this country. I believe that it is far more important for us to be investing in education and jobs rather than jails and incarceration. I want to get rid of this distinction of having more people in jail than other countries, and I want to replace that with the United States being the best educated country on earth. And when we talk about jobs and income, let's understand this. The reason that people are working 2 or 3 jobs, the reason that people are going to food shelves after working 40 or 50 hours a week is that millions of Americans are earning wages that are much, much too low. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. The federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour is a starvation wage. And together, we are going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. It is not a radical idea. It is an American idea. It is a conservative idea to say that if somebody works 40 hours a week, that person should not be living in poverty. And when we talk about wages and income, I hope every man here will stand with the women and demand pay equity for women workers. There is no...
You're back, Nigel.
All right, so we're back, and that was Bernie Sanders earlier on today in Iowa. Hopefully some footage that no one had seen. Apparently we're getting reports that the press Wi-Fi is down at the venue in Dubuque and the 4G is overloaded, much like we saw in LA So we thought we'd show that clip there, and I saw a few comments going by on YouTube. And the comments there, you know, Derek Clark said, this guy sees the big picture, and he certainly does. Bernie Sanders certainly does see the big picture. We want to give thanks for that video that we just showed from Adrenochrome, and he submitted it. It's a YouTube user, submitted it to us, so thank you very much for that, Dave. So here we are, back.
Guys, it's all about you guys bringing us this information. We got that video from a Bernie supporter. So we could bring it to you. I don't know, and that's exclusive video as far as we know of Bernie earlier today. So we'll bring it to you. We are the media. The people are the media. This is a grassroots media revolution. And the Wi-Fi and the Gs, all the Gs are down. The G spots are all down in Iowa today, I guess. So we're gonna keep looking for it. We're gonna keep trying to find it and see if anybody's gonna bring it to you. I think we really do. We need a Bernie 2016 satellite truck or something, a Wi-Fi truck that we can just go and do this, send our volunteers out on their own, and and we'll do it, and just forget this corporate media nonsense. Reporters' Wi-Fi is going down. They've got all the money. What the hell? So, but we're trying to bring it to you guys. I know folks are frustrated. They want to see Bernie live. Everybody does. We all do. There's almost over 350 of you watching right now, and we're trying desperately to find that stream. If you come across it, let us know. Bring it to your folks here that are supporting Bernie 2016 TV, and we will get it right up. We're trying to also get a hold of our reporter. I'm sure he's having the same issues with all of the bandwidth and data. Just too many people. We heard 1,700 might be an estimate of the venue, and we'll see. If anybody gets video and wants to upload it, if you can, you know, we'll try to bring that in if we can. Otherwise, we'll just hang here and chat with you guys. We'll talk about some of the comments. We're putting the tweets across the channel and comments from the YouTube stream. Sit on down, John. I'm here with John McPhee, a local artist and musician, one of the 99 that made a great video we showed earlier, music video. We'll show that a little bit later. The world premiere of, what was the name? What's the title? Get your vote on. Get your vote on. Not give Bernie Sanders your vote. That's the Winborn Singers. We like that one too. But get your vote on. And we're gonna, I don't know, maybe we can cue that up, and while we're waiting, we can play that while we're looking for the stream. Let's do that. Let's show John's video. This is we premiered this earlier. John wrote this recently, right, John?
Yeah, actually,
Oh,
I wrote it about 2
I
months ago.
think you're on there. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll turn you on.
I wrote it about 2 months ago, and I didn't really play it for anybody, but when you came over, I thought we should just record that, and obviously we're going to do a lot of other recordings.
Absolutely, and he was working on some more. So he's got another song for the union nurses. So let's watch that video. Get your vote on.
Get your vote on, people.
Cool. John McPhee.
Hang on, guys. Janine doesn't have it. Who had that this morning?
Oh.
Who had that video?
It was on my. I put it up on the YouTubes. The link. That's what I said.
It was played. Okay. Hang on a second, guys.
No worries. All good. That's John, our intrepid engineer and technical director, and man of many talents, trying to desperately to keep this all together for us with all this spread out grassroots media revolution. We're all over the place, all over the country, and bringing it to you just with off-the-shelf stuff, Hangouts, YouTube, because it's the people's revolution, and why not use what at least they're giving us? And they've provided us with these great social media platforms to get the word out. So that's what we're doing. And so we're gonna play that video again when we can. But you're one of the organizers for Burbank for Bernie, right, John?
Yes, I am, and we formed the Facebook page, but really the event tracker created
Bernie's
the Facebook page.
event tracker. Right?
Absolutely, everything starts there because we found people who, well, we added 20 seats at the last minute, and we got everyone came. And we were worried we have enough money to buy the room for $1,000.
Right.
We hit that in 1 hour, so the whole thing worked out well. But the event tracker and the Facebook page are everything. But now, of course, we're going to Instagram, and you're going to tweet, and so.
Right. Okay, great. We've got that video, so let's get your vote on John McPhee.
Baby, get your vote on. Come along with me. It's a revolution in 2016. He's a little bit rumpled. So are we. I'm voting for Bernie in 2016. I'm voting for the person who's voting for me. I'm voting for the person who's voting for every one of us. Now I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. Come along with me. Oh, baby, get your vote on and come along with me. Oh, it's a revolution in 2016. I'm voting for Bernie because he's voting for me. I'm voting for Bernie. He's voting for me. I'm voting for Bernie. He's voting for me.
John McPhee, get your vote on.
Get your vote on.
Nice
Register
work.
to vote.
Register to vote, guys. Yeah, that's the deal. You got to be registered to vote, and you can't vote for Bernie in the general if you don't vote for him in the primary. So make sure you're registered appropriately. Can't emphasize that enough. There's great websites out there. Most of the states have. Well, hopefully most. In California, you can do it online. It's no problem whatsoever. So,
but in some of those red states, you have to walk up 2 mountains, barefoot. But do it, okay?
That's right.
No matter what it takes, do it.
You can use your NRA card. You can use your NRA card as ID, but not your student ID.
That's right.
Right, Nigel?
That's exactly right.
Harder to vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
I heard noise.
What's that?
I heard noise. What do we have anything?
I think that was we were queuing up another music video for our audience that are watching here while we're still trying to get the stream. I was just looking at Twitter here, and Kevin Hardy, who's with the Des Moines Register, has got a few tweets out there. He says, it's a packed house rally at the Loras College. Loras College, that's the name of it, in Dubuque. Okay. And apparently about 90 minutes ago, tweeted from Bernie Sanders, if anybody thinks what I'm saying is radical, read what the Pope is saying. So, Bernie's brought that line out, and he said that before, and it's so true. Here we are, we've got Bernie Sanders, fighting for the 99. We've got the Pope out there making comments for the 99. I mean, the 1% or 1/10 of 1% must be getting pretty worried about now. I mean, we're starting to see billionaires come out and make comments saying, "Oh yeah, inequality is a problem. Yeah, it's a bit of an issue."
Well, the Catholics are a pretty big voting constituency, and you got your 99, the Pope, one of the 99 for sure, until they promoted him and gave him the hat and the house and the country. But he's definitely came from the 99. But let's put up another video. We got this is. There's just so many people making great media for Bernie and using their passion and their artistic expression to talk about Bernie Sanders and his message and how he relates to the people and how they relate to him. So who is this video by? Do we know who this video is by?
This is the Tony Teague video, I believe.
Tony Teague.
Tony Teague.
Awesome. Let's watch that.
Any other major country on earth, a nation in which the wealthiest people are becoming phenomenally rich. Over 40 million people living in poverty. The very least that we can say is that nobody in America goes.
Pied Piper Bernie Sanders for the middle class. What a GOP wants to put our interests last. He's gonna give it to you on no hesitation. with the right ideas to lead this great nation. No handouts, no special interest groups. Hell, lie to give votes is telling you the truth. And while the media wants to downplay him, he still gon' fight. Tell him all he ain't playing. Push him for higher wages so we all can feed our families. The only one I know who can conquer this insanity of this Wall Street bickering, belittling the poor. Dollar bills, only thing they considering. When people need health care, kids need school. When it comes to politics, Bernie's breaking rules. No attack against on the competition's needed. He's running on the facts, and it's something that we needed. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn. Yeah. You see him scared shook, he's a democratic socialist. They don't even know what it means, they just roll with it. Get over it, check the resume. Fighting for civil rights ever since the first day. While other candidates still with their hands out. We do it old school, grassroots stand out. Cause this is our time to have a voice to serve. You fat cats had your chance, now it's our turn. They say he can't win, he's too liberal. Way too extreme, too honest and too cynical. They want another robot politician, the same old rhetoric, now they gon' listen. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn.
Millions and millions of working people who are working hard but are not making enough money to put bread on the table or to take care of their kids, and that has got to end. The time has come for people all over this country to create a political movement which says to the billionaire class, you can't have it all.
Burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn.
All right, I think we're back there. That was Tony Teague with Feel the Burn with his rap there. We've played that one before. It's got a nice catch to it.
Yeah, there's a there's just more. There's a lot of musicians. Lil B, I think is that his name? A rapper, Lil B. He came out for. He was a Hillary supporter. I think that's his name. And decided that he had actually done a song about with Hillary in the lyrics, or Clinton in the lyrics, but decided to change his position and come out for Bernie. So and that was on the CNN, and he has he doesn't have a record deal, but he's got. But oh, look, oligarchy fell.
It can't stand.
Maybe that'll happen for real.
That's a sign. The oligarchy can't stand.
Just who's in charge of safety on this set? Oh wait, I'm
set
assistant director. I guess I am.
Who's on set?
Yeah. So the musicians and they're all getting on board, and we're trying to get as many bands to back Bernie as we can. We're going to be officially reaching out to them and try to bring them in. The more and more people get on the Bernie train, man, it's going to be awesome. And we have another video, I think, Nigel, do we not, from earlier this afternoon in Iowa. This is also fresh video. I think we're queuing up. Something that hasn't been seen before, and you're not going to see this on the mainstream media. While we continue to look for the stream, guys, we're still looking for the stream to bring it to you. There's basically a Wi-Fi 3G, 4G dead zone or just overwhelmed zone near the venue as usual. So hopefully we can start.
Trump van nearby blocking it.
The media with all the money can start figuring this out and helping us out, or maybe we can do it. But if we've got that video, maybe we can put that on. It's about a little over 20 minutes, and we'll just keep it going. And we'll be following your comments and talking in the chat until we get a stream. As soon as we find one or video for it, we'll bring it to you.
And I'm looking for one right now.
Yeah, we're looking for a stream. Looking for Diogenes, looking for an honest man. Bernie Sanders. There
hey, I just saw him. Yeah, Bernie Sanders. He's my guy. We'll be here all week, folks.
We cannot accomplish. Think of where we were 30, 40 years ago in terms of civil rights. And because of the work of Iowa, and because of people all over this country saying we're not going to judge a candidate based on the color of his skin, but by his ideas, we have elected the first African-American president. But that happened because for decades, millions of people stood up and said,
all right, so it looks like we queued up a similar video to what we had before.
It looked like a different, it looked maybe a different angle of the same.
A different angle, yeah, trying to get Bernie's better side of his hair, maybe. But so we're going to queue up another video now, and while we're doing that, let's come back to the dialogue we got here. I'm just looking to see if there's any good questions going by on the YouTube chat from our viewers. All right, it looks like we've got a comedy tribute ready to go, a comedy tribute video. So let's have a bit of a
comedy. Never cut funny. Awesome. Let's play
All right.
I'm presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. How are you? Finally, churros. Los Angeles, California. We're here to find out if Latino voters are prepared to put Bernie Sanders in the White House. You know where Mr. Churro is? Mr. Churro? No? It's not complicated. Absolutamente. All we are going to do is change everything about this entire country. Absolutely delicious.
Pero mi favorita es Hillary Clinton.
¿Tu favorita es Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
¿Sí? ¿Por qué?
Hey, yo, Diggs, drop another remix on it, baby. Remind me who you are, man.
I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm in blue states. I'm in red states. And now I'm in Compton, California.
You make this shot. I'll mic this real quick.
I got these kicks.
All right, man.
I should have called that. This is what I think. Overhaul the whole thing. This is how we're going to do it. Memes. Hashtag TBH. To be honest, 1/10 of the top 1% in the United States equals the bottom 90%'s world. Hashtag SMH. Shaking my head. And you share the meme, and then other people look at the meme, and they share the meme. Absolutely. Absolutely. Solid meme.
Yeah. That's how you become president? Or?
Memes. Instagram.com, feel the burn. All Black Lives Matter. Can we start there? Who are you voting for? Vote for me in 10 years, I'll be running again. Absolutamente. Hashtag burn notice. ¿Quién va a ganar el voto latino?
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders. Absolutely delicious. I would say even better than the churros at Knott's Berry Farm.
That was great.
Back.
Never cut funny. That's great. Humor. That's a great way to get to people with humor, man. That was awesome. I gotta tweet that later. That's the first time I saw that. That's a good one.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I heard somebody say Bernie is Grumpy Cat. So there's Grumpy Cat there. It's the Grumpy Cat stuffed animal. It's my mother-in-law's friend. And so we're going to get him a wig and some glasses to make him look like Bernie. He's some kind of the grumpy uncle, you know. He's just, I don't know, maybe that's why some of the millennials are attracted to him, because he's, you know, they haven't had any actual discipline in the last 15 years, 20 years. So maybe the angry uncle getting up there saying, look, the people, they're screwing you, these billionaires, and look, this is what you got to do. So
clean your room. Messy rooms will not stand.
Clean your room. Vote for me. We're gonna save the country for you. So yeah, maybe that's a little bit of that. You know, they like that he's a straight talker, he's truthful, and you know, maybe they're not getting a lot of that.
He's just got that something special.
Yeah, he does.
They're lining up.
And I love his notes. Everybody, there was a lot of comments yesterday about his notes during his speech. You know, he has just this crumpled up ball of yellow paper that has just it just has talking points on it. You know,
into the wash.
An outline basically. But you know, there's a great video when he came to Los Angeles. There was a guy did a Go Live, Go 360 Go or something like that. But it was a camera that caught the entire rally 360, and you could actually
see yourself.
Pan down. I saw myself, and you could pan down and see his notes and see what he had on his notes, and he had like 4 things written on the notes, and he spoke for an hour. So he's pretty amazing. So we're queuing up some more videos for you guys. We're trying to get you some more creative work done by our burners and interviews and why they're voting for Bernie. And this is all while we're looking for a stream to bring you. Apparently, you know, it's challenging there. So we're going to keep bringing you some good stuff. Hopefully you'll hang with us. I notice most of the folks are still hanging on. We got a little over 250. Thank you for staying with us. This is an all-volunteer network. And this is a video from Melanie. Let's take a look at what this one is.
Here we go.
Hi, my name is Nancy Coleman Chavez, and I would like to thank you for watching this video. I want to let you know that no one is paying me to make these videos, and that the reason why I'm here is to tell you why I'm supporting Bernie Sanders. I am supporting Bernie Sanders because he's the only honest candidate who has fought the same issues since he was young. He cares about women, knows our importance in society, and cares about undocumented immigrants, and wants to help create a path to citizenship. Allow me to tell you a little bit more about myself. I was born and raised in Mexico City. At the age of 15, I came to the States to study for a year. At 19, I lived in France for a year and a half. During my many trips and stays, I was able to experience firsthand the benefits of democratic socialism in Sweden, Finland, Norway, and Denmark. I finished the university with a degree in interpretation and translation, a benefit that few have, hence the importance of our kids to enjoy free quality education. I am married to an American, and I have an almost 3-year-old daughter, and it is because of her that I want a better future for this nation. As many people in this country, I'm an immigrant in search of the American dream, and the only person that can help me fulfill that dream is Bernie Sanders. I don't want to tell you who to vote for. All I ask is that you inform yourself before voting. Read about the candidates, see their voting records in issues that are important to you, and then make an informed decision. I hope that you will keep allowing me to share with you more about Bernie Sanders and show you what he represents, and that all he wants is what is best for our nation. Before I go, I would like to thank the person making this video and all future videos possible, Melanie Fisher. Thank you for loaning your studio for this great cause.
Awesome. That's great.
All right, yeah, there was some great advice in there, right? Like not only talking about Bernie's positions in terms of women and undocumented immigrants, but the great advice right there at the end was do the research, right? And that's one of the goals of Bernie 2016 TV is to create an informed electorate. But do the research, look at the issues that are important to you, look at the candidates' policy positions, and that's something you're going to find about Bernie Sanders. He has a plan around all the major issues. If you look at the other candidates from the Republican side, you'll see very little in the way of policy. You'll see talking points, but very little in the way of policy.
It's all rhetoric. It's all rhetoric. It's
all rhetoric.
Vague.
Right. And then if you look at the Democrats to Bernie Sanders, you'll see copycats. So I know who I'd rather have. I'd rather have the originator of the ideas, the guy that's been thinking this way and coming up with these policies over the last 30 years and consistently voting for them in his legislative record and what he's done, rather than an imitator.
Absolutely, and Hillary, Hillary's job, rather Bernie's job, is apparently to pull Hillary to the left. That's what the pundits and all the Beltway says that he's really doing. And but why why should she have to change her views and come out with a different message? You know, the fact that she has to change it all, to shift in that direction, that just tells me Bernie's the guy that everyone believes in if she's talking more like him. You know, so yeah, and he won't attack her. He didn't attack anybody today on Meet the Press. He was given several opportunities to attack Joe Biden, to attack Hillary, to attack Trump, and he avoided all of them. And actually, Richard, a reporter from earlier, Richard Green, I think he has a video that we've got coming up. I don't know if we can get Richard in, if we can, since we're waiting for a reporter anyway to talk about this. Maybe we can bring him in afterwards. But this is a video about Sanders not attacking Hillary, which is his MO. You know, he will not speak badly about any of these guys. You know, so let's see if we can listen to that.
With Hillary Clinton, where is she vulnerable?
Polls show that she is losing support of people, that more people now than not think that she's not trustworthy.
You know, you're not saying your colleagues are corrupt, just...
Do you think that there is a trust issue?
It's pretty hard for her to attack the financial system and high-wage earners, is it not?
So does that mean that Hillary Clinton's part of the billionaire class?
She's upside down.
What I've said throughout this campaign is I'm not running against Hillary Clinton.
I like Hillary Clinton. I respect Hillary Clinton. I disagree with Hillary Clinton. We don't have to make these campaigns personal. We don't have to eviscerate our opponents. We don't have to say that anybody who's running for office who's not me is the worst person in the world. We don't have to do that. But what we do have to do is discuss issues.
For example, I mean, we have got to create millions of decent paying jobs in this country because real unemployment is close to 11%. That means rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure. We've got to raise the minimum wage to a living wage. We need pay equity for women workers. When the great middle class of this country is disappearing, how does it happen? That we have more technology and increased productivity and people are working longer hours for low wages. How does that happen? How does it happen that 99% of all new income in this country goes to the top 1%? How does it happen that the top 1/10 of 1% owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%?
These are the questions that the American people want to hear discussed. Frankly, that is why large numbers of people are coming out.
Why are you the best choice for President of the United States?
Because for the last 30 years, I've been standing up for the working families of this country, and I think I'm the only candidate who is prepared to take on the billionaire class, which now controls our economy and increasingly controls the political life of this country. We need a political revolution in this country involving millions of people who are prepared to stand up and say enough is enough, and I want to help lead that effort.
So does that mean...
Enough is enough. Yeah, Reddit. The Reddit community is really on top of this, and that there was an article last week or a couple weeks ago about how is Reddit going to be Sanders' secret weapon. That community really is, and we are able to get a lot of information. They're often the first ones to find out where the streams are. You know, so we are we are very tuned into the Reddit community and using their network of people, young people, you know, that are just creating media and images and passing on information and really getting Bernie's word out, right, Nigel? It's a very decentralized revolution.
Well, absolutely. I mean, when you've got the mainstream media owned and controlled by 6 corporations in total, you know, the way around that is via this social media. You know, it's via the media revolution with the Big Bernie 2016 TV, Random House networks that helped us out in Los Angeles. Any of those places, you know, it's really that's the way to do it, and it really is. You know, the revolution will be televised. It'll be televised on social media. So
yeah, exactly. It's just a different kind of television. Unless you can send it to your Apple TV, though, you know, so it's okay. It's still on TV. I'm watching it on TV too. But yeah, I mean, but it's a platform for the phones and the pads and all of those, all the devices, and that's where the people are. So you know,
I got a call Saturday from somebody that I had met at the first event, and he said, I speak fluent Spanish, I can translate for you. I don't do social media at all. You and I have to be phone friends. I want to go to Eagle Rock and Echo Park and form a group down there. Will you help me? His name's Francisco. He might be watching. So he's going to do it with just a cell phone. He doesn't want to do the Facebook thing. So they're coming out of the woodwork for Bernie from all walks of life, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, people resist. You know, I resisted to the Google Plus forever, and but you have to do what you have to do for the revolution. So you got to join Google Plus, get involved here on the network if you want to do a show, if you want to be a reporter. If you're going to be, we desperately are looking for reporters, guys. If you're going to be on the ground at any of these events, upcoming events,
can't we tap into the local news feed? Can't we?
The local media. Wi-Fi is down. All the G's are down in the area. Nobody apparently, unless we're wrong about that, and somebody can tell us in the YouTube channel that there is actually a stream and they're not hiding it from us. I'm sure they're not. But I don't think anybody's watching it right now. So we're usually a lot of the times we were one of the only streams at one of the other events. There's been so many now. I was looking at the channel, which is where I go to right away, Nigel. Now every morning when I get up, I stream through my morning joke just to see if there was any mention, and then I bring up Bernie's 2016 TV and I check in the new stuff that's been uploaded, or watch. Like I watched the Wingdings the other day because I hadn't caught the whole broadcast, and that was great. But one of our broadcasts, we were the only stream that was on. I
found you on Reddit.
It's a challenge on right, Nigel. That one night you were on, we were the only one.
That's right. It was in Seattle or Portland. It was part of the West Coast swing.
Yep.
Part of the West Coast swing. So.
And I Googled Bernie Sanders live at the moment it started, and the Reddit popped up with your group. That's how I found you.
There you go.
That's what I Googled.
Reddit works again.
And I through the Reddit feed I found you, although I already knew you.
Right.
It isn't that complicated.
But for sure, follow us on all the medias. I don't have an Instagram yet. I don't know if I will yet. I'm sure I will at some point. But I'm on Twitter at Feel the Burn TV and Facebook as well. And of course, the network Bernie 2016 TV is on there. Nigel, where are you on the Twitter?
NW Harrison to you, so you can find me on Twitter there, and definitely, you were talking before about people wanting to volunteer, coming up in the YouTube comments. Get on our G Plus page, and
I know it sucks. Create a Google account if you want, just for that, and just get on the Google Plus. And we've got our issues with Hangouts, but hey. We couldn't do this during Dennis Kucinich's time, and we couldn't do it with Howard Dean. Couldn't do this, so this is huge for politics. And I think the mainstream media is just completely behind the 8 ball on this. They have no idea what's going to hit them. And
they stack their stories. They have an agenda.
They all talk about the same things.
And they talk about the wrong things. And I've noticed CNN has like cooking shows and travel shows sometimes when I want the news. So
I get that from my HGTV. I don't want the news telling me that. So it's newstainment, and this is raw stuff. One of the things folks like about our channel is that it's raw, it's real, it's grassroots, it's you guys, and a couple of hacks talking about a little tiny revolution.
Right. Who are the couple of hacks? There's 3 of us here. So which one of the 2 hacks?
I left that ambiguous. You notice?
Yeah, you did. Hey, Dave, John. One of the things I've been reading, and I don't have the letter in front of me, but a lot of people are looking at Bernie Sanders. Of our vintage. They're looking at Bernie Sanders and they're saying, here's the candidate that I want for my kids. Right? Because they're thinking about the future. They're thinking about their kids getting a fair start. Because, that's one of Bernie's positions, and part of being a democratic socialist is ensuring that everyone gets off to a fair start, regardless of what sort of circumstance you're born into. And I think we actually have a video from a 12-year-old telling people why Bernie Sanders should be president. I think that would be a great video to go and see.
Awesome. Let's do that.
Boy, and I'm here to tell you how awesome Bernie Sanders is. And in case you don't know, Bernie Sanders is running for president in the 2016 presidential campaign. One of the reasons why Bernie Sanders is so awesome is because when he becomes president, he's going to fix one of the biggest problems we face in America today. It's called big money in politics. And that's where big, rich companies give a bunch of money to politicians they like so that it's more likely that that politician gets elected. But it's not that simple. In exchange, that politician, once they're elected, has to do something for that company that gave them money. Big money in politics hurts us because whoever gets elected, the choices they make as president will only be for the company that they got money from, not for the people of America, and they won't be doing what's right for the country. And when Bernie Sanders becomes president, he's going to change it so that politicians do what's right for everyone, not just rich people and big companies. And that's why I'm going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Oh, but I can't vote for Bernie Sanders because I'm only 12. Ah! So that's why you need to vote for Bernie Sanders. And you also need to vote for Bernie Sanders just because he's awesome. And he's going to do what's best for this country, and he's going to make it a better place to live for everyone. This is Bernie Boy, hoping you'll join us for our next video, where we're going to talk even more about Bernie Sanders' awesomeness. See you next time.
That's a very well-educated child.
Yeah.
We've got to get him on Bernie 2016 TV, I think.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be a co-host.
He can sit right here. There's a
Yeah,
space. We got
Bernie,
one more spot.
Bernie boy.
Hey, let's get him as a reporter.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the suit. He's got the tie. He's ready to do a stand-up. And you know Bernie would talk to him, too. That would be great. That would be a coup.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't turn that down.
That's great. That's awesome. All right, guys, so we're looking for one. I was just wondering, I was just speculating. Did he speak already? He has spoken, or he's nearly done. And we just know there was no stream, I guess, maybe is what we're hearing. So we're still trying to find that out.
Yeah, I think with this might be our first strikeout on a live coverage of one of his events.
It's kind of a bummer, but we've usually been pretty lucky at finding a stream or at least a Periscope from somebody. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because Iowa doesn't have the amount of people. It says hundreds. I think I read.
Maybe Donald Trump parked a van outside, and he's blocking.
Yeah, he's blocking it. He's blocking it. I'm going to block him. Bernie blockade, block him.
You can't stop the message. We'll just watch it later, mister. It's TiVo.
But we've had an awesome time chatting, and we've met John McPhee, a musician and artist, and a Burbank for Bernie organizer. Had a great event last night. Keep going to those parties. We're gonna try to find a stream for Tuesday night, guys. Follow us on Twitter. Hopefully we can find one ahead of time, and apparently there was no stream at all today, so we apologize, but we've had a great time talking, and your comments and spread the word about Bernie 2016 TV. We need more reporters, we need more hosts. We're going to be doing a great bunch of shows starting up in September. John and I are going to do a little show together. He's going to book some bands for me, and we're going to do it in his studio. So it's going to be a cool September. It's going to be great. We're going to money bomb Bernie on the 8th for his 74th birthday. So if you can do $8 on the 8th, that'd be great. But if you can do 74 for his 74th birthday, that's even better. So think about that. Save your lattes up for that one. And Chicago tomorrow, we're looking for reporters. We're looking for periscopes. I am around tomorrow, I think, so I can jump on the air if we need to, guys. And vid, we can do Americans. I got to change the opening graphic of Americans, guys. I'm sorry. I was really tired when I made it, and I misspelled Madison. It was just a juxtaposition, so I apologize for that. I'll fix it. But it's a great little video that I put together because I was excited when I saw these photos from Denver, and my cousin wrote this song after 9/11 about being an American and a liberal patriot, and I think that's part of what my show is going to be about reclaiming patriotism and love for this country, and getting it back to where we built things. We built infrastructure, and and roads and bridges and internets and went to the moon, you know, and I think we need to get back that, and we need to educate our kids.
Yes, we did.
We need to give
Yes,
people,
we
we need
did.
to give
Why
people
can't
health
we now?
care next. So we need to go beyond even that. We need to go progress. We need to progress. So
we need to study our history books.
Yep.
We need to write papers. We need to help people understand Citizens United with a 2-page PDF that's prepared by a young person for us. All those little things. When someone goes, "What's it about?" You could hand them a little something. And,
that's right.
And
cards. People had cards last night. Bernie cards. You talk to somebody. Hey, what's he believe?
right.
You know,
Yes.
you can make cheap cards cheap. You know?
And it was really cool. The cards were awesome.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
no,
great.
we're designing one now. So Nigel, want to thank you for joining us today and being here with me and bantering back and forth. Your final thoughts on this wonderful afternoon? Very hot. Are you hot on the East Coast?
Well, no, actually it hasn't been too bad. The humidity's dropped off down here, but yes, thank you. It's been great to be here. I will say I just saw a comment go by from Darren Hosking saying that a local reporter up there said there were 2,000 people at the event, which is absolutely huge for Iowa. Huge. And for those that are watching live and also those that are going to be watching this recorded, afterwards I'm going to send out my usual plea. Register to vote in the primaries. Please make sure you're registered. New York is closing very, very soon for registrations to vote in the primaries.
Really?
Make sure you're registered. Make sure that you're registered correctly, because some states have closed primaries. So that's my closing message to everyone. Make sure you're registered to vote, because at the end of the day, votes are what matters.
Yep.
So thank you.
In the current system, we got to vote to change stuff. So we're gonna need to do that, guys. So that's right. Register. Make sure you get somebody else registered, and vote in the primaries, because you can't vote in general for Bernie if he doesn't make it through the primaries. John, thank you. John in Portland, thank you. Janine, Rich, Sauce Dog, everybody out there. Our Richard Green, reporter from HempFest, and joining us earlier, and. Volunteer, guys. Let's get some folks on the ground. We want to hear from you. We have a lot of volunteers. We just weren't able to hook up with anybody or get the signal from this venue, and hopefully we can get past that in future events. And maybe the Sanders campaign is working on some solution. Maybe that's where they're going to put their ducats, because this is critical information to get out, you know. And I would love to travel around with the campaign, quite frankly. So, and make sure we get streams out of his information. So love you guys. We're going to go out with that video. Thanks for watching. Join us next time. Check in tomorrow. Follow us. We'll see what we can do in Chicago and Reno on Tuesday. Peace, love, and Bernie Sanders.
Denver, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the next President of the United States, Bernie Sanders!
Let's join together as Americans. Let's work together as Americans.
Police
Let's stand together. Let's stand together as Americans.
So I look forward to working with you all in creating the political revolution that this country needs. Thank you all.
Let's lighten up on politics, the cheap shots and the dirty tricks, and let's join together as Americans. The left, the right, the middle too have got their faults like me and you, but let's work together as Americans. There are but few other places, whether far or near, where we can do and say and think the things we do right here. So let's agree to disagree like thinking people do, and let's stand together as Americans. For some of us who criticize the way our leaders lead, we feel that keeps us stronger as Americans. To not express opinions would be far the worse indeed, 'cause seeking justice is a duty of Americans. We are a land of individuals, and in the things we do, we must respect each other's right to voice their own point of view. So let's accept our differences as that which keeps us great, and thank our lucky stars that we're Americans.
This campaign is not about me. It's not about Hillary Clinton. It's not about Jeb Bush. It's not about any other candidate. This campaign is about you, your kids, and your parents.
There are those out there who want to break our spirit and our drive, but they don't stand a chance 'cause we're Americans. We've fought a lot of bitter fights to keep our liberty alive, and we'll keep on fighting as Americans. We've got the best of the best here in the USA, but if we take it all for granted, it might slip away. So no matter where we come from and no matter what our name, let's show the world that we're united as Americans.
Let's join together as Americans. Let's work together as Americans. Let's grow together. Let's stand together. As We're
It is about creating a political movement of millions of people who stand up and loudly and proudly proclaim that this nation and our government belong to all of us and not just a handful of billionaires.